In this video, we'll be showing you how to import a Dropbox CSV into a Microsoft SQL Server table. Let's dive in. In this video, we're going to start inside of Dropbox and show the file that we're going to take from Dropbox into SQL Server by the end of the video. And it's just going to be this simple output.csv file here. So let's jump into Shipyard and show how we can make this process work. So first off, we want to search for our Dropbox blueprints, and we have our blueprint called download file. So it's going to download a file from Dropbox into Shipyard. So we're going to name this download file from Dropbox. Okay. And then so at this point, all we need to do is just put our inputs in here and it can download that file. We didn't put the file in a folder. You can use regex match to potentially add more than one file in. So you can do as many files as you want at one time inside of one vessel if you use regex, but we're going to keep it exact match here for simplicity. So remember that file name was output.csv. We don't want to put it in a folder. We'll keep it output.csv, so we'll leave local file name blank there. And so we only need our access token from Dropbox. I'm going to paste that in there. So now our Dropbox vessel is completely ready to go. So some important things to note before we move on is that each vessel can also have email notifications attached to it. So if it fails or a completion of an on-demand run, it can send you an email letting you know that information, as well as guardrails to protect against the number of retries, the time between retries, and the runtime cutoff as well. So now that our Dropbox vessel is good to go, we can go and look for our Microsoft SQL Server vessels. And so since we're going to have a CSV from Dropbox, we want to upload CSV to a table. So I'm going to click that, name this vessel, upload CSV to table. And now we just need our inputs from our SQL Server instance. So our host, our username, grab my password. Our database is testdb. We don't need extra URL parameters. We didn't put the file in a folder. The file name was output.csv, so it has to match that file name from the first vessel so that Shipyard knows that's the file you want to take into SQL Server. So table names, this is what the table is going to be called inside of SQL Server. So I'm going to call this data from Dropbox. Okay, and then we can choose to append, replace, or add data only if the table is empty. We'll just leave it append right now. So now that vessel is set up, we can connect these two vessels together. And so now our fleet here says that we're going to download the CSV from Dropbox in the first vessel. If that's successful, which is what that middle link tells us, then it'll then upload that CSV to a table inside of SQL Server. So this looks like it's set up like we want it to be. So we'll go over to our fleet settings and name this. We're going to name this Dropbox to Microsoft SQL Server. And I want to click Save and Finish. So when I click Save and Finish, this is going to redirect me to a page telling me that the fleet has been created successfully, as you see here. And then I want to go ahead and click Run Your Fleet. So this is going to schedule the fleet to run immediately. Inside of Shipyard, we call this an on-demand run. So if you see that in documentation anywhere, that's what we're referring to. You can kick off an on-demand run anywhere that you're working in a fleet by clicking on the purple Run Now button. And it'll go ahead and kick off that fleet run for you. There's also two other ways to kick off a fleet inside of Shipyard using the Triggers tab up here on the top. We have a scheduling trigger as well as a webhook API trigger. So you can you can schedule your fleet to run, or you can kick it off programmatically inside of another software as well. So you can see inside of our fleet log. So this is where we can actively look and see what's going on with our fleet run. You can see that our first vessel is already completed. So that download file from Dropbox is already completed. I can click inside of that Gantt chart there. And it's going to show me the vessel output from this run. So it's going to show us the inputs that we put in, as well as you can see that the access token doesn't show out on the output, so that someone else from your organization or even us from Shipyard can't look at your logs and see what that access token is. And you can see down here that output.csv was successfully downloaded to Shipyard. So if I go back to my, got logged out. Let me log back in real quick. So in our fleet, you can see that since the first vessel finished successfully, it went ahead and kicked off the second vessel, so that uploads CSV to table. So now I can open up SQL Server. So open up SQL Server, and I can look at my test database here. If I refresh this, we should see our new table data from Dropbox there. And I can query that, select the top 1,000 of that one. And whenever that query shows up, we're going to see our little sample table here that just has little 2 rows in it. So in this video, we talked about how you can take a CSV file from Dropbox, download it into Shipyard, and then upload it to a table inside of SQL Server. If you have any questions about this solution or any other potential solution, use the link in the description to set up a time to chat with our team of data experts. You can go to shipyardapp.com to start building powerful workflows just like this for free. Want to see us tackle more solutions? Check out these related videos.